Welcome to Chain. Today we delve into a story of betrayal, secret love, and a murder that shocked a tight-knit community. This is the tragic story of Sam Mitchell, a respected local businessman whose life was cut short by a brutal act of violence. Sam Mitchell, a 54-year-old resident of Santa Clarita, California, owns a thriving pest control company called Mitchell Pest Solutions, which is highly regarded in the community. Sam is known not only for his successful business, but also for his vibrant personality and deep passion for 19th-century Western art. He is a familiar face at local art galleries and regularly attends art shows. Sam lives in a picturesque suburban home with his wife, Danielle Peters Mitchell. They have been married for 22 years. Danielle, 46, works as an accountant. Although their marriage had its challenges, especially due to Sam's mysterious nature, Danielle remained faithful to him despite rumors of infidelity. Sam, known for his kindness and generosity, was active in local charities and was a beloved figure in the neighborhood. He was surrounded by friends who admired his cheerful demeanor and friendly nature. Sam had ambitious plans for the future, including expanding his business and acquiring new pieces for his art collection. Just days before his death, he was excited about a business deal and was planning to attend a Western art auction in Fort Worth, Texas, on October 10, 2021. The day before, Sam spent time meeting with clients and strategizing his next business moves. That evening, he enjoyed a family dinner with his wife and their college-aged children at the Old Spaghetti Factory, a popular restaurant in Santa Clarita. They discussed their future and their holiday plans. Sam appeared content and excited about the weeks ahead. Sam Mitchell was a successful businessman, a devoted husband, father, and a beloved member of the community. His untimely death was all the more tragic because of the bright future he had ahead of him. On the morning of October 15, 2021, at approximately 8 a.m., Sam's body was discovered by his longtime friend and business partner, Mark Stevenson. Known Sam for over 10 years and often stopped by his house to discuss business matters that morning, Mark was supposed to meet Sam to discuss a new pest control contract with a major client. Mark arrived at Sam's suburban house in Santa Clarita, located on Oakwood Road, a quiet street when Sam did not answer. Mark found it strange as he knew Sam was always punctual and never missed a meeting after knocking on the door several times with no response. Mark decided to use the spare key Sam gave him in case of emergency. When Mark entered the house, he immediately sensed something was wrong. The house was unusually quiet. Mark called Sam's name but received no response. He entered the living room, the room where he discovered a scene that would haunt him forever. Sam was lying on the floor in a pool of blood. There were clear signs of a violent struggle with furniture knocked over and blood splattered on the walls. Sam had been stabbed multiple times, and it was clear he had put up a very violent fight before he died. Mark was in shock. His hands were shaking as he pulled out his phone to call 911. The emergency operator answered, and Mark tried to keep his voice calm, explaining what he had found. The operator asked him to stay on the line and wait for the police and paramedics to arrive. Mark felt a mixture of fear and sadness and disbelief. He couldn't understand how something so terrible could have happened to his friend while waiting for the authorities. Mark tried to calm down. He checked Sam for any signs of life, but it was clear he was gone. Mark sat on the couch looking around the room, trying to make sense of the chaos. He noticed Sam's favorite painting on the wall, a 19th-century piece of Western art that was now stained. Blood police and paramedics arrived within minutes. Mark met them at the door and led them into the living room. Paramedics confirmed that Sam was dead, and police began securing the crime scene. Mark gave his statement to police. His detailed testimony would later be crucial in the investigation that followed. Police arrived at Sam Mitchell's home shortly after Mark Stevenson called 911 on the morning of October 15, 2021. Detective Tara Howard, known for her keen eye for detail, led the investigation. She was accompanied by her partner, Detective Mike Ramirez, who also had experience handling serious crimes, when they entered the suburban home on Oakwood Avenue. They witnessed a horrific scene. The living room was in disarray with furniture overturned and blood splattered on the walls and floor. Sam's body was lying in the middle of the room, surrounded by evidence of a violent struggle. The detectives knew they had specimens and other clues from the scene. They took photographs of the entire area, noting the location of every piece of furniture and every bloodstain. The team worked methodically to ensure they did not miss any important evidence. Detective Howard interviewed Mark Stevenson, who discovered Mark described the scene he found, and his actions afterwards. His detailed account helped the detectives piece together an initial timeline of events. They learned that Sam had planned to meet Mark that morning, making them wonder if anyone else might have known about the meeting. The detectives then turned their attention to the rest of the house. They found no signs of forced entry, suggesting that Sam might have known his attacker. This information was important. As it narrowed down the list of potential suspects, they also found Sam's cell phone on the kitchen counter, which they took as evidence. They hoped it would provide clues as to who Sam had been in contact with before his death. Outside the house, news vans from local TV stations, as KTLA and ABC7 began gathering the shocking murder of a prominent local businessman. Big news reporters attempted to get statements from police and neighbors. But Detective Howard declined to comment, saying the investigation was still in its early stages. By the end of the day, detectives had gathered a significant amount of evidence, but many questions remained as to who wanted to kill Sam Mitchell and why. The investigation was just beginning, and Detective Howard and her team knew they had a long way to go. The first person police investigated was Danielle Peters, Mitchell Stam's wife of 22 years. Danielle, 46, worked as an accountant at a law firm in the San Fernando Valley. She was known for being meticulous and attentive to detailed traits that made her good at her job. Despite her calm exterior, Danielle was deeply affected by Sam's death on the afternoon of October 16, 2021. Vanel was brought in for questioning. Detective Tara Howard led the questioning. Danielle appeared calm, but obviously upset. She told the detectives that she and Sam had a complicated relationship. Although they had their differences, she loved him very much. Danielle revealed that Sam was involved in a secret relationship with a much younger man named Kevin Lawrence. This revelation shocked the detectives. Danielle explained that she had discovered the affair several months earlier and that it had put a significant strain on their marriage. She also revealed that Sam had recently tested positive for AIDS, which had added to the tension between them. Detectives asked Danielle about her whereabouts on the night of the murder. She said that she was at home watching TV and doing some paperwork. She said that she had been watching the latest episode of NCIS on CBS America at the time and had gone to bed around 10 p.m. Her calm demeanor during questioning was remarkable. She seemed cooperative and willing to help the investigation in any way she could. The police also asked Danielle about any financial problems she and Sam may have had. Danielle explained that they were financially stable and had no significant money problems. She denied any involvement in Sam's death, stating that although she was hurt by his affair, she would never harm him despite her cooperation. The detectives could not ignore the motive of jealousy and bet on Danielle's revelations about Sam's affair. And his illness added more layers to the investigation. They decided to check her alibi and look for any other evidence that could link her to the crime. The detectives also collected Danielle's phone records and financial statements to see if they could find any irregularities or suspicious activity. They wanted to make sure not to leave any details unturned. The investigation into Danielle was intense, but the police knew they had to explore every possible angle to find the truth. Danielle's calm yet emotional demeanor left the detectives with mixed emotions. Was she a grieving widow or a jealous husband capable of murder? The investigation continued as the detectives searched for answers. Next, the police turned their attention to Kevin Lawrence, the man named Danielle as Sam's lover. Kevin was a struggling 21-year-old artist living in West Hollywood. He moved to California from a small town in Iowa, hoping to make a name for himself in the art world to support himself. He worked as a gigolo. This is how he met Sam Mitchell on October 17, 2021. Kevin was brought in for questioning at the Santa Clarita Police Station. Detective Mike Ramirez led the questioning, wanting to understand Kevin's relationship with Sam. Kevin was clearly nervous, but cooperative. He admitted to having an affair with Sam and said they had been seeing each other for about a year. Relatives described Sam as kind and supportive. Sam helped him financially on several occasions to pay for art supplies and rent. Despite their significant age difference, Kane felt a strong connection to Sam. He claimed he loved Sam, and that their relationship was worth more than the financial support Sam gave to him. However, he was also aware of the strain their relationship put on Sam's marriage to Danielle. The detectives asked Kevin about his whereabouts on the night of the murder. Kevin stated that he was at his apartment working on a new painting. He said he had ordered takeout from a local Chinese restaurant, Panda Express, and had spent the evening alone. The detectives noted his calm demeanor, but were aware that Kevin had a lot to lose if the truth came out about his relationship with Sam. Police also discovered Kevin had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which sometimes made his emotions difficult to control. He insisted, however, that he would never harm Sam Keene's financial struggles, and his reliance on Sam for support added a potential motive for the police to consider. To verify his alibi, the detectives collected Kay's phone records and spoke to his neighbors. They wanted to see if anyone could confirm that Kevin had been at home that night. They also looked into Kevin's financial records to check if there had been any unusual transactions. Despite Kevin's cooperation, the police couldn't ignore the possibility that he might have had a role in Sam's death. His relationship with Sam and his financial dependency on him made him a person of interest. The detectives continued to investigate, looking for any evidence that could either confirm or disprove Kevin's involvement. Kevin's turbulent emotional state made him a complex figure in the investigation. The detectives knew they needed to dig deeper to understand his role in Sam's life and possibly in his death. The third suspect in the investigation was Richard "Rick" Gallagher, a 45-year-old real estate developer. Rick was wealthy and ambitious, known for his ruthless business tactics. He had worked with Sam's pest control company on several projects, and their professional relationship had always been tense. However, there were rumors of a sexual connection between them as well. On October 18, 2021, the police brought Rick in for questioning. Detective Tara Howard took the lead. Rick was confident and composed, but there was a hint of nervousness in his eyes. He admitted that he and Sam had a complex relationship, both professionally and personally. Rick revealed that he and Sam had been lovers, something he had kept secret for fear of damaging his reputation. This was a shocking revelation for the detectives, adding another layer of intrigue to the case. Rick also disclosed that he had recently tested positive for A, which he believed he had contracted from Sam. This news had devastated him, and he was struggling to come to terms with it. The detectives asked Rick about his whereabouts on the night of Sam's murder. Rick claimed he was at a business dinner at the Palm, a high-end steakhouse in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles. He provided the names of several colleagues who can confirm his alien. The detectives have taken notes to track these individuals. Rick's motive for the murder is clear. He was angry and felt betrayed by Sam. The detectives need to determine if his anger motivated him to commit the crime. They have examined Rick's financial records and phone logs for any evidence of foul play. They have also looked into his interactions with Sam in the weeks leading up to the murder. Rick's behavior during interrogation was mostly calm, but he became defensive when asked about his feelings towards Sam. He insisted that although he was hurt and angry, he would never resort to violence. He expressed his frustration with the situation and his desire to move forward. The detectives left the interrogation room with more questions than answers. Rick's relationship with Sam and his recent diagnosis made him the prime suspect, but they needed solid evidence to link him to the crime. They decide to dig deeper into his background and recent activities. Rick's ambitious nature and feelings of betrayal make him a fascinating character in the investigation. The detectives know they have to explore every angle to uncover the truth about Sam's murder. A true crime case solver interested in more real-life murder mysteries, definitely. Like and subscribe to our channel. And you have any thoughts on this case or have your own case that you would like us to investigate? Leave us a comment. Stay safe. True crime case solvers on October 20th, 2021. A crucial piece of evidence has surfaced. It was a rainy Wednesday morning when the police received a call from a neighbor who lived a few houses down from Sam. The neighbor said something suspicious was found in her backyard. A bloody shirt. Detectives Tara Howard and Mike Ramos rushed to Mrs. Green's house on Oakwood Avenue. They carefully collected the shirt, ensures that any potential evidence remains intact. The shirt appears to be a men's size, and the bloodstains suggest that the shirt was worn during the murder. This new evidence has been taken to the forensics lab for analysis detail. Detectives are keen to learn more about the shirt. They hope it will contain DNA that could point to them as the steam killer. Forensics is fast, and within hours, they had results. The blood on the shirt matched Sam Mitchell's blood type. More importantly, the DNA on the collar and sleeves showed that Ed matched Danielle Peters, Mitchell Sam's wife. Detectives Howard and Ramirez discussed the findings. The new evidence casts a shadow over Danielle's claims of innocence. The detectives decide to bring her in for another round of questioning. This time, they have solid evidence linking her to the crime scene. October 21st, 2021. Vanille is taken back to the police station. She appears nervous as she sits down in the interrogation room. Detective Howard presents the bloody shirt, and the DNA evidence. Danielle's composure begins to crumble. She claimed that she did not know how her DNA appeared on the shirt and insisted that she was being set up. Detectives pressured her to provide more details. They asked about her actions on the night of the murder. Danielle's story began to change. She admitted that she and Sam had argued. That night of his affair with Kevin Lawrence, she claimed that Sam had become violent and she had acted in self-defense. However, detectives found holes in her story, evidence that pointed to a targeted attack rather than self-defense. With new evidence in hand, detectives were more convinced of Danielle's involvement. They reviewed financial records and discovered that Danielle had recently taken out a large life insurance policy on Sam. This provided a strong motive for the murder. The discovery of the bloody shirt and subsequent DNA analysis played a major role in the investigation. Detectives were now closer to uncovering the truth. Danielle's increasingly contradictory statements and growing evidence pointing to her as the prime suspect in Sam's murder, police continued to dig deeper into the evidence against Danielle Peters Mitchell, and on October 25, 2021, they had a breakthrough. Financial records revealed that Danielle had recently purchased a $500,000 life insurance policy on Sam. Even more shocking was the $300,000 transfer from Sam's account to Richard Rick Gallagher shortly after Sam's death. Detective Tara Howard and her team interrogated Rick again, this time presenting financial records under pressure. Rick admitted that Danielle had been prepared to lie about being Sam's lover and having AIDS. Rick confessed that none of it was true and that he had agreed to the scheme for the money. This revelation changed the entire course of the investigation. On October 26, 2021, detectives confronted Danielle with this new information. Danielle initially denied everything, but eventually broke down under intense questioning. She admitted to lying about Sam having AIDS to damage his reputation and make herself look like a victim. She also confessed, admitted to paying Rick to support his false story. Danielle explained that she felt betrayed and humiliated by Sam's affair with Kevin Lawrence. Her anger and jealousy reached a boiling point, causing her to confront Sam on the night of his murder. During the confrontation, Danielle stabbed Sam multiple times in a fit of rage. She had hoped that framing him as an unfaithful husband would help her escape suspicion and garner sympathy. Detective Howard and her team now had a clear motive and solid evidence linking Danielle to the murder on October 27, 2021. They arrested Danielle at her home. She was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to obstruct justice as police handcuffed her. Danielle showed little emotion, as if she had accepted her fate. News of Daniel's arrest shocked the Santa Clarita community. Sam's family and friends were devastated by the betrayal and the gruesome details of his death. They struggled to understand how someone so close to Sam could commit such a heinous act, especially Sam's children are heartbroken. They have lost their father and now have to face the reality that their mother was their father's killer. The community has rallied around them. Expressing support and condolences during this difficult time, the police have publicly praised the detectives for their thorough investigation, uncovering Danielle's lies and finances. The trail played a key role in solving the case. The arrest has brought a sense of justice to Sam's loved ones, although the emotional wounds will take longer to heal. The trial of Daniel Peters. Mitchell begins on December 5, 2021 in Santa Clarita Superior Court, the prosecution led by District Attorney James Thompson. 50 years old, who is known for his tenacity and sharp legal thinking, presented a compelling case. Thompson argued that Danielle's actions were intentional and motivated by jealousy and greed. He highlighted the life insurance policy and the payment to Rick Gallagher as evidence of her intentions. Framed Sam and escape justice on the defendant's attorney Karen Lee, 48 years old, a seasoned attorney, known for her calm and strategic approach to representing Danielle Lee, argued that Danielle acted in self-defense during a heated argument with Sam. She attempted to paint a picture of a desperate woman pushed to the brink by her husband's infidelity and lies. The trial was very emotional, with Sam's family and friends filling the courtroom every day. They listened intently as witnesses, including Rick Gallagher and Kevin Lawrence, testified. Rick admitted to taking money to lie about his relationship with Sam, while Kevin described the nature of his relationship with Sam. The prosecution presented a bloody shirt with Daniel's DNA and financial records as key evidence. Forensic experts testified about the violent nature of the attack, contradicting Danielle's claim of self-defense. The jury was shown crime scene photos highlighting the brutality of the murder during the trial. Danielle remained calm, but there were times when she appeared very dazed, especially during Ken's testimony. The emotional impact on Sam's children was clear as they watched their mother's trial with a mix of grief and anger, struggling to reconcile the woman they knew with the atrocity she committed on December 20th, 2021. After 2 weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury found Daniel Peters Mitchell guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Sam's family and friends received the verdict with a mix of relief and sadness. They had found some justice for Sam. But the pain of Danielle's loss and betrayal still lingers. The judge sentenced Danielle to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. She commented on the calculated nature of the crime and the efforts Daniel made to cover her tracks. The sentence handed down a sense of closure, but emotional wounds remain raw. Sam's family expresses gratitude for the support they have received from the community and the tireless efforts of the police and prosecutors as justice is served. The scars of this tragic event will stay with them forever. After Daniel Peter Mitchell's conviction, life is slowly returning to normal for those involved in Sam Mitchell's tragic murder case. For Sam's children, Emma and Jack, both in their early 20s, the road ahead is challenging. They seek solace in their close-knit community of Santa Clarita, seeking support from friends and neighbors who struggled around them throughout the trial. Kevin Lawrence. The young artist, whose relationship with Sam was at the center of the investigation, has tried to focus on his career. He continues to paint an exhibition of his artwork at galleries across West Hollywood. The media attention has brought both opportunities and challenges, but Kevin is determined to make a name for himself in the art world. Rick Gallagher, the real estate developer who was briefly embroiled in the case, has withdrawn from the public eye. His reputation has suffered after admitting to taking money from Danielle to lie about his relationship with Sam. Despite this setback, Rick continues to manage his business quietly, kept secret in Santa Clarita. Over time, life in Santa Clarita slowly returned to normal. The leaves turned yellow in the fall of 2021, and the community celebrated Halloween with pumpkin patches and haunted houses. But the local news reported stories of resilience and hope, highlighting community events and initiatives to heal and move forward for Sam's children and close friends. The memory of his kindness and generosity remains strong. They find comfort in remembering the good times they shared with him and in knowing that justice was served while the scars of the murder. Sam will never be completely healed. The support and resilience of the community has provided a glimmer of hope for the future. Today's episode of True Crime Case Files, which concludes the story of Sam Mitchell, is a stark reminder of how hidden secrets and emotions can lead to devastating consequences. Thank you for joining us as we explore this tragic tale of love, betrayal, and murder. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will dive into another gripping true crime story. Until then, be safe and stay vigilant.